beat the Gray 50-31. It felt a lot like that old Drew Carey comedy show where the points really don't matter and they just make them up. That's what it felt like yesterday, at least to me, anyways. But I tell you what, man, let's dive right into it. Shaun, you get to go up first since you're our guest. Give us your reaction and your thoughts from yesterday's spring game, man.
I was very pleased. I was wanted to see how Julian was going to look, and I thought he looked great. I thought Keen Holst kind of looked shaky at the beginning, but he did rebound nice. And I think we can see that Tavian's got talent. It's just going to take him some experience and some time to get there. I'm very happy with the offensive line. I think that's going to be the strength of the team. Defense, they played pretty vanilla, so it's kind of hard to get a read on some of it. But I figure, once the season starts, we'll see them stunning and doing a lot more, give more looks than what we saw yesterday. Mylan Graham looks like a real ball player, so I'm excited.
Oh,
Yeah, I
this
saw
never
it. I couldn't help
ceases to
myself
amaze
laugh.
me. The Pod Mother spring game boyfriend. don't forget, don't forget to thank the man that kissed your wife's hand all day.
And he actually put the picture of it on there. That's great.
Oh my gosh, that is yeah, so good, so good. Yeah, Chris, your thoughts on the spring game yesterday?
You know, I think from on the offense, I was pleasantly surprised. You and I both, Eric, had kind of said that we thought this was going to be a defensive dominated game, but the offense went out and put up some numbers and they looked awfully good. I thought the offensive line looked really good. It kind of leaves me wondering, Eric. A few years ago we were all about is the defensive line this good or the offensive line that bad? Maybe has me wondering a little bit the other direction. Is the offensive line really this good, or is our defensive line once we get past those four starters just that bad?
Mm.
But overall, I gotta say, Bo Jackson looked good. Mylan Graham's awesome. The quarterbacks, all of them had fairly decent games. Even Tavian, who went out there and threw two picks, looking a little bit like a freshman, which he is. Um, I thought he recovered well, 11, 15, 116 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that was solid. C.J. Donaldson got the first rushing touchdown, by the way, Eric. Uh, and I thought he looked good.
Someone predicted that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy who predicted that Max Clare would have the first receiving touchdown. So,
Okay, toot. Just go ahead and toot it.
and if he would have been smart, he would have stayed on Fahim for the first interception, and then I would have had three in a row. But no, good showing. I think it's spring game from most people. Um, I am coming away a little concerned about our depth on the defensive line.
Corey, your thoughts on the spring game, brother?
I freaking hate the spring game.
That's because you weren't there with us.
It would have been fun to hang out with you all for sure. I will not. Last time I went to a spring game, my favorite part of it was hanging with friends for sure. No takeaway from what you guys were doing at all. The actual game, you can't judge anything by it. It's so hard. It's fun to overreact about. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to see a little football. But I'm just reading Twitter yesterday made me want to blow my brains out. Like, oh my god, it's like I actually saw somebody say Tavion will never see the field at Ohio State. Literally saw that on Twitter yesterday. It's a spring game, you moron. He's a freshman. It's a spring game. He's probably even a little nervous.
No,
I know.
Corey, they had 45,000 people over there at Bell Fountain High School. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Maybe 45.
And definitely it was the most prestigious high school in the country. Clearly, like Ohio State is a college football. Um, Defense was so freaking vanilla, and people were freaking out about it. Not saying anybody here is. Shaun brought it up. Of course, it was just. How do you gauge it? I just don't know how.
Even Ryan Day
Yeah.
said we literally played a basic two high safety the whole game.
Exactly. No calls, no blitzes, nothing. Just let them go. And I think it was mainly an offensive showcase just for the fans more than anything. Um, I liked how Julian's saying looked, and I'll say it's so there's certain things you can take in a spring game that are like obvious no matter if it's game or if it's spring game. Like some of the throws he made on time that were he threw people open at times. That's what I wanted to see what Julian's saying. And people who are saying quick to say he's QB1, I think he is, but that's not to take away from Lincoln, who's vastly improved from 2 years ago, I think. And I think he's got a lot of good qualities about him. I just think Julian's got that ceiling that's so freaking high. Tavion's got the best arm on the team.
Oh yeah.
That he's got a freaking cannon. There's some throws he made, especially one on the sideline. I remember. I can't remember who it was to, but I just it was a rope, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "That's a freshman, man. They don't usually make those throws when when their bodies are that young." But he's just got a grown man body already. Um, CJ Jonathan looks quicker than he did at West Virginia because he's dropped 20 pounds. I love the fact that it just shows how advanced our weight room is compared to other schools because he's 240 at West Virginia, kind of, lumbering, kind of slow power guy. I thought that's what he'd be here. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, wait. He's different now. So it changes the game a little bit. Offensive line looked good, but I don't know how much the defense cared. So it's just hard to gauge. Although I am proud of Austin Severial. He looks like he's going to be the starting right tackle. That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
Corey, let me jump in
He's
real
good.
fast.
Yeah, go
'cause
ahead, buddy.
He dominated the line of scrimmage. I mean, to the
Absolutely.
point he was blowing up our too deep on the defensive
Oh yeah,
line, blowing the
he
running
looks all Big
backs.
Ten already. I mean,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
Again,
they found something there. They really did.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
100%.
and you know what? Who do you credit for that? Tyler Bowen, maybe? Maybe he came in and saw some films and says, I bet that guy could play right tackle, and then just tried him out there. I mean, who knows? Tyler Bowen so far is an A+ hire so far.
Yeah.
With his recruiting, the way the line looks in spring. I mean, again, it's a spring game. How do you know? But defensively, yeah, I can see the defensive line the depth being a little bit of a concern for sure. I think we have extremely. I'll tell you one thing: the future of the linebacker position is looking really good.
Oh
My
yeah.
goodness. Pettijohn and Peyton Pierce both look good. Uh, Safeties look really good. The future of the safety position is not going to fall off after Downs goes, even though he's a massive, he's a mountain on his own. Secondary looks okay, but I mean, they were kind of sticky on those receivers. Sometimes our quarterbacks had to make really freaking good throws. And I want to mention one last thing. Mylan Graham might end up being the most dangerous slot receiver in the country by the end of the year because sometimes he put Aaron Scott in just a freaking blender. And especially the one Julian Sain missed early on in the game. It was an easy touchdown if he hit him. Mylan made Aaron look bad. Just Aaron didn't jam up the line. He juked him and he just fell on the ground. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy's so freaking effortlessly quick and fast. You can't keep him off the field for nothing. I'm not trying to knock Brandon Ennis, but I'm like, dude, this guy is an explosion waiting to happen.
So do you
That's what I
think he leapfrogs him on the depth chart,
I
Corey?
think he will, if not right away, eventually, because he's just too good. I mean, he may not be the blocker Ennis is. At some point, you got to say, look, we're going to give up a little bit here to get the explosion out of him. So he just looks like a freak.
$1.99 super chat from Dylan Kuhn was the best part seeing me, even when I got lost.
Hey, get back to me, man. What's your schedule looking like? Come on, buddy.
Yeah, DK took an Uber from Target to the over to the Horseshoe and then walked around trying to find us. But he finally found us after the game. He didn't even get to go watch the spring game. So, but he got to hang out with us for a little bit, and and I got to see that stallion of a truck he drove from Dayton up here. So, uh, yeah, it was the spring game was awesome. Good to see Roy. Roy came to spring game too. Good to see you, Roy.
Yes, he did.
Uh, oh, it was yesterday. Here's what I'm so excited about, and I'm with you, Corey. It's hard to really gauge anything from a spring game, but the last 4 spring games that we went to, Chris and I were talking about this. We walked away from the spring game with serious concerns about the offensive line. And this time I'm walking away so jacked about the offensive line that um, I'm pumped. I'm just absolutely pumped about that because I know that you can really do some serious damage with a good offensive line in the trenches when it comes to running the football, pass protection, everything works better. These quarterbacks, at this point, whoever wins, awesome, because with this offensive line, they're going to make that quarterback look really, really good. Okay. And if you watch those first couple drives that Julian Saint had, it was running the football that then opened up the pass in a lot of ways because they were getting 8, 10, 12-yard gashes at a time. CJ wasn't getting touched, dude. I turned to Chris. I go, he's not seen holes like that in his entire career at West
Oh
Virginia.
yeah.
I'm none. And he's like, yeah, I'll lose another 10 pounds and run even faster if you guys make holes like that, guys. My gosh. So super excited about the offensive line. And the only concern I have is with like you brought up, Shaun, like you brought up, Chris, the defensive line, and even Ryan Day in the post game press conference, he did make a statement. He said that they might have to go to the portal to get some defensive line help. So that very well could happen. Um, after that, yeah,
Let
Corey.
me butt in real quick. The only, ironically, the one that looked best was the one from Idaho State.
Yeah, he did. And
Oh,
now
Logan. Yeah.
he was also going against like our second and third string offensive line when he was in, but
What's your
uh,
point? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, but oh, we lost Shaun. Hopefully he's able to jump back in here real quick. Um, Will Buck, St. Clair looked like a smaller Pryor. What do you think?
He's a much better passer than Pryor. Much better.
Agreed.
Maybe this is blasphemy, but I'm sorry. Terrell was left a lot to be desired as a thrower. So
Yeah, okay. I got you. I got you. All right. Todd even says he reminds him physically of Terrell Pryor. So some similarities there.
physically, it makes sense. I agree with that because he physically, Travian or sorry, St. Clair is just ridiculous. It doesn't even. I mean, it's like he's is he 18? Are you sure? Are you sure? Is the birth certificate real?
Yeah.
$2 super chat from Bobby Mack. I should have gotten a DK's autograph yesterday. It's not worth anything. He'll tell you that. Yeah, there it is. I even predicted it. It's not worth anything. That's funny. All right, guys. Corey, if you really, I know you love the spring game so much, so you're really, really gonna love this. Let's hand out some Buckeye leaves.
Just Buckeye leaves for everybody. Just why not? Just throw them out. Who cares?
Oh, come on. Oh, you know you want to. Man, I'm really behind the chat. Sorry, guys. I need to catch up. All right. Here we go. Let's start with our offensive player of the game. We'll go Chris, and then we'll go Shaun, and then we'll go Corey. So go for it, Chris. Offensive player of the game.
Oh man. I'm not going to make it a quarterback.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really torn between Mylan Graham and Bo Jackson. Bo had 88 yards on 13 carries. That's almost 7 a carry. Had a touchdown. Mylan had 104 yards receiving, 49-yard touchdown. You know what? I want to give it to Bo because that's what I predicted, but I can't do it. I got to go Mylan Graham.
All right.
I was gonna go Mylan Graham too, but since Chris took him, I'll take Sane. I thought Julian looked really well.
Okay. Very well. Corey.
You know what? Give it to the big boy up front, Austin Severold, right tackle.
Nice. I like that. I'm glad someone sees that.
I love it. Like you, Eric. I love seeing the offensive line look good.
Yes. Very, very much so, man. It just makes this whole summer so less stressful for me. I'm not gonna lie. All right, defensive player of the game, Chris. Oh, I guess I should give mine, shouldn't I?
You could, yeah.
All right, is my wife still in the chat? because she will tell you the entire game. Whenever Bo Jackson touched the football and he did something, I would say Bo knows how to do this. Bo knows how to do that. So I'm gonna go Bo Jackson. He knows how to be the MVP of the spring game. Bo knows that. All right, Chris,
Please,
defensive
can we
player.
not make that a thing, please?
Oh,
Come
that's totally a
on.
thing. That was a thing when we were talking recruiting,
Oh
Corey.
no! Oh no!
That is specifically why Eric wanted him on campus.
That makes sense.
It
Actually,
wasn't even about the talent; it was about the marketing. Although I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure Nike's going to come in and sue us at some point.
Bo knows the OHO
well, Phil
podcast
Knight
is
does need our money. Yes.
well,
All right,
yeah.
so defensive player of the game. A lot of guys we could have chose from, I guess. But I think every time I heard anything about a tackle, it involved Peyton Pierce. So I'm going to go with Peyton Pierce.
Shaun,
I'm going to go with Fahim Delane. I thought he looked great out there, and he had an interception.
he did look good. Cory,
I'm going Peyton Pierce. I'm going along with Chris. He actually tore up a couple guards and a couple plays there on the run plays and just made the tackle. That guy's got a future.
yeah, he does. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Peyton Pierce as well. I thought he looked fantastic, and he made the first tackle of the game when you were actually allowed to tackle, and it was
He didn't stop after that, Eric.
no, it was now I know why James Laurinaitis likes him so much. That became evident yesterday.
And I love the
Um,
fact James is turning into an A+ coach. I am so happy about that.
oh, I did not realize that. You're right, Bobby Mack. Every time I do that, Bo knows I am telling my age. It's true.
Well, you look your age too, so don't worry about it.
Ooh, handsome.
Think we can get him to do a football card with the shoulder pads and the bat on his
Come
shoulders.
on.
He needs to wear the old school shoulder pads that are like just mountains on your shoulder.
Yeah, give him with the neck roll.
Yeah,
How about
exactly. Neck roll, exactly, and that big face mask.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on to the defensive player of the game, Chris.
We just did the defensive
Yeah,
player.
we just
Oh,
did
sorry. I put him in the wrong category. How about we go with the offensive play of the game, Chris?
Offensive player of the game. Give me Julian Sands' pass to Max Clare for the touchdown.
That was good.
Julian Sains TD pass to Max Clare. That was a good pass, wasn't it? What do you guys think of Max Clare? Let's stop right there and talk about him for a second.
I think our tight end room looks better than it has in years.
I tell you what, when the opposing teams are going to have to play them two high safeties, split safeties, they're going to be in trouble because our guys are going to eat. I mean, we got two tight ends. I mean, even Thurman looked great too. I mean, seeing them down the seam.
Will Kazmarek didn't even play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This tight end room is awfully good.
Keenan Bailey, man. He has built this tight end room.
Mo Foster.
Yeah, he actually walked right by us the other day, Corey. He and Brian Hartline walked right by us going over to the Woody from the shoot.
I think Keenan was in the booth with Brian, wasn't he?
I
think that was Keenan. So that's kind of crazy that if Brian this season is in the booth, which makes sense, that his key is the guy who's spotting things for him. So
Mo Foster says, thanks for the free t-shirt and hot dog after the spring game for the kids. The two girls wore them on the trip home. You're welcome, dude. Appreciate you swinging by, man. Appreciate that very much so. All right, let's see. I think we're up to Shaun. Shaun, your offensive play of the game.
I like the pass to the touchdown to Mylan Graham when he just took it to the house.
Gotcha. Mylan Graham's TD reception. Yeah, he's got some wheels, dude.
He also had another great one where Shane threw it to him in tight coverage and he made that catch. I mean, the defender was on him and he just fit it right in that tight window.
Let me ask you guys this question. Who does Mylan Graham remind you of the most?
I know everybody wants to say Garrett Wilson. I think he's quicker and faster than Garrett Wilson myself, but I can't think of a comparison right this second because he's in his own league, and it seems like every year we have a guy, or not every year, but most years we have a guy kind of like that who doesn't quite pan out. So I don't know who to compare him to right now, but I wouldn't say Garrett Wilson in my opinion though. People are just automatically going there.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson would have been my first thought, but honestly,
I
I
was
do
gonna say
think that
Garrett Wilson, but
I think
like
Marlon
like
speed's
Corey
better, but I
said,
don't
people
think
have
that
been
he's
comparing him to him. But I think you're right, Corey. I think he is a little faster than what Garrett was.
He's smooth, man. And that touchdown run you mentioned, Sean, it's just like he just jogged there and he's still outrunning everybody. It was nuts. It's like I knew he's an athlete. Don't get me wrong, everybody knew that. But when you finally see him on the field, fully developed physically, you're like, okay, he's a problem.
Joey Galloway.
Oh, that's a big comparison right there, Eric.
I think Joey was a little bit bigger, wasn't he? I mean,
Yeah, Joey's 6'2", I think, but yeah.
like stockier wise. I mean, like ripped
But
wise.
I'm talking like gliding,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey could fly.
Corey's tasting it. He's chewing it around in his mouth
Yeah,
a little
I'm
bit.
trying to think because it's his quickness that impresses me. That miss in the end zone with Aaron Scott covering him, it just was ridiculous. It didn't even his video game watching him just like, yeah, whatever. You're gonna go down and I'm gonna be open.
Will Buck says Terry Glenn.
That's not bad. He's a little faster than Terry, but and Terry was fast. But man, Terry made me a Buckeye fan. I love Terry Glenn so much. Rest in peace, by the way. God bless him. But dude, I was like watching the Buckeyes because of my dad, but then Terry Glenn had that breakout year, and I'm like, wow, he's a freak.
Ooh, Kenneth says, give me a Terry Glenn mixed with a little Olave and Garrett Wilson. That's quite the cocktail.
That's a milkshake there, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just so quick. I just don't know who to quite compare him to.
Lee's saying Joey wasn't quite 6 foot. Now I got to look it up. How tall?
Maybe
was
I'm
Joey?
wrong. Yeah, I thought he was 6'2".
How tall was Joey Glenn?
Joey Glenn?
No, not Joey. What am I?
You're comparing to? Not are you combining? Yeah, well,
we said milkshake, and next thing you know, I'm putting names together. Joey Galloway. Let's see how tall he was. Joey Galloway was 5'11".
Wow, I was wrong.
I thought he was taller.
He looked taller, yeah. At the time.
He might be standing on something when he's on a little box when he's on ESPN. Give him a couple more inches, you know. All right, let's move on here. Let's see. I think we're up to Corey's offensive play of the game.
Well, Sean actually mentioned it. That tight window throw from Sayan to Mylan Graham. That is NFL all over it right there because quarterbacks have to be able to make that throw. And God bless Graham being able to catch it in traffic like that. But for Sayan to put it on time, right on his number, right there with the guy draped all over him, that gave me so much confidence in Sayan. Because I mean, we've been saying it all off season, or all season, and then leading into the offseason, we didn't really know what to think of Sayan yet. That throw jumped my confidence from like a 4 to an 8, just because it's like that is NFL caliber all day, every day, and I couldn't believe. I mean, I don't. It's like we haven't really seen that throw since C.J. Stroud, so I was very, very impressed.
There it is, Santonio Holmes. That's the comparison. That to me, that feels right. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, let's move on to our defensive play of the game, Chris. Chris, can't hear you. All right, we'll move on to Shaun, your defensive play of the game.
I like Inky Jones's interception. I thought that was a heck of a pick.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to go with Peyton Pierce rock on the offensive lineman and getting the tackle because you don't see, even when our linebackers are getting better, you don't see that extremely often. And honestly, I saw it more from Lathan Ransom than I did our linebackers at times. But even though Cody Simon kind of showed it towards the end of last year, but that Peyton Pierce play reminded me of old school Schlegel, Carpenter, AJ Hawk linebacker play from Ohio State.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Fahim Delane pick.
Right. Yeah. I love it when we have multiple picks on things, guys.
Me too, because it makes
you three different picks. Not bad for a defense that supposedly played terrible, right?
No,
Well, I think the scoring is so screwed up. Shaun, you need to turn your volume down a little bit. Someone in the chat said your volume's a little loud, a little hot. Um, the scoring screwed up because they got what was it, 3 points for a 3-and-out, and then you got 1 point if you forced a punt, but it wasn't a 3-and-out, and then it was um I forget, was it 1 point for a sack or 2 points for a sack, 2 points for an interception? Like, it was really really hard for the defense to score points, man. It just didn't feel fair. So and I'll tell you, like, even when they got that pick and he was running down the sideline and Tavian knocked him out of bounds, they got was 2 points for the interception. They could, you know what I mean? It was like,
They should have got 3 for that because interceptions and fumbles were supposed to be 3.
yeah, I
Three and
don't,
outs are supposed to be 3. The sacks were supposed to be 2, and then the forced punts 1.
yeah, unless they got a 3-and-out and it was 3 points. So it was, I mean, unless you got a 3-and-out defensively, it was kind of
Yeah,
like there's and then one possession, there's 7 points. You're like, wait a second, come on. And why is the special teams get points to the offense then at that point? You know what I mean? It's kind of a moot point in my opinion. But anyways, what did you guys think of Brian Hartline's debut as a play caller? I'll start with you, Corey.
Oh, thank you.
You smiled, so I thought maybe you wanted to go.
Look, how do you gauge it with a defense that can only make 2 or 3 calls, right? I mean, he didn't have
Yeah.
to adjust. He didn't have to like, oh man, let's play a chess game. It wasn't a chess game exactly. They were playing like, I don't know what they were playing, but it wasn't even checkers. It was that vanilla. So, but I'll tell you one thing. I think it's good that Harline keeps getting these reps as a play caller. I think he's going to be. He looks more promising right now than he has in the past. I'll give him that. I just you want to point to the success of the offense, and I think it's what I think's good. And I'll say this because I've seen this in past spring games where our quarterbacks are leave a lot to be desired. Even the good ones. Justin Fields is a good example. Dwayne Haskins, the year he was a starter, was like terrible that spring game. Joe Burrow was good. Haskins was terrible. All 3 quarterbacks flashed. They all had moments. I know Tavian with the 2 picks. Everybody's like, oh, freaking out about him. He's 11 of 15 for crying out loud. He rebounded, played pretty well. I think that bodes well, in my opinion, for Brian Hartline because as vanilla as they played, at least the offense was successful. Because my goodness, if they were that vanilla and we couldn't move the ball, I'd be like, okay, red alert, something's really really wrong here. So I think Hartline he learned a lot from his last venture into play calling. He's been learning a lot since with guys like Ryan Day and Chip Kelly, uh, grooming him to be the play caller. I think he's ready. And I'm not saying there's going to be bumps in the road and clunkiness along the way, but I just think you saw a lot of good things yesterday in the spring game anyway, even though you can't really gauge it too much. I come away more confident. I'll put it that way. Long-winded way of saying I come away more confident.
Chris?
you know, I thought that they moved the ball around quite well. Several players got a chance to make catches. I thought the run game did very well. So for me, I think that and you mentioned it, Eric. We're so used to seeing the pass used to open the run. It was nice, and I'm sure it won't be this way come the season, but it was nice to see the run used to open the pass up a little bit. And who knows, maybe it will be that way this season. I don't know. But I thought that he had, the right packages for the right guys who were in at the time, and I'm very optimistic. Again, you can't take a lot away given the restrictions on the defense, but I thought it looked solid. I think he's got a bright future.
Shaun, what did you think of Brian Hartline's debut as a play caller in the spring game?
I thought he got in a nice little rhythm going there. I thought Julian got in a nice rhythm. I thought he was calling some really good plays. He got the offensive line was moving the ball pretty well, running the ball. But like Corey said, we're playing against a vanilla defense, so it's kind of hard to really give a fair judgment. But honestly, though, I thought he got in a good rhythm and it looked pretty good. It's promising.
It
You
is.
know, one
Yeah, go
quick
ahead.
thing,
Sorry.
Eric. You know what I
hmm
liked about the run game? A lot of quick runs, not a lot of slow
Yeah.
developing runs, from what I could tell. And I hope that's the future, because good lord, I mean, there's going to be stretch runs, but it's just nice to see CJ just hit the hole and go.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Again, I think when he got the ball and he's like the Red Sea, his eyes probably were like, I haven't seen this since high school. It's like a fat guy walking into Krispy Kremes and the lights on and them donuts are being made fresh. I'm like, yes, sir. I don't mind if I do. I can just drive a truck through that thing, man. I couldn't get over that, dude. I was like, holy smokes, those holes are huge. Um, yeah, I thought Brian Hartline and even Ryan Day said this in the post game press conference. He got in a rhythm as a play caller with the quarterbacks, and if there's anybody who understands as a play caller how important it is to be in step with your quarterback, it's Ryan Day, right? And if Brian Hartline needs to establish that relationship with whoever ends up being the signal caller at Ohio State, that they're on the same page and they are in tune with one another. I think TG said it earlier. See if I can find her comment there. I thought it was really good when she said Brian H. I think improved, and it's more about establishing a base. So we saw him be successful. Now, albeit against a very Manila defense at times that was purposely being set up, I believe, to make the offense feel good about what they were doing in the passing department. And it just so happened the offensive line was blowing that defensive line off the ball every snap as well in the running department. Bobby Mack with another $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. He said SWD also looked good out of the backfield. Sam Williams Dixon. Yeah, he did. That's a great point, and it was on my to-do list here to ask these guys. I think it's pretty evident that C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples are our 1-2 punch this year at running back. Even though James didn't get a ton of carries yesterday, and why would you at this point? But who's the third running back? Is it Sam Williams Dixon or do you think it's Bo Jackson? Shaun?
I think it's Bo Jackson. I think he gives you more. He's got the speed and he's got the power. As long as he can stay healthy, I mean, that's been his big knock in high school, where he didn't play as much because he had some pretty bad injuries. But yesterday, I mean, he was so explosive. I mean, going through the hole, he was hitting the hole, and he was flying through it. He's got that power to him. I go Bo Jackson. I think he's gonna take jump Sam Williams Dixon in the pecking order.
Chris, you agree?
I do agree. And Sean mentioned the obviously the speed, the power, but at the same time, let's also remember that you've got Bo Jackson, who's going to be younger and still going to, he's younger. Dixon's a sophomore. I think you get an extra year out of Bo Jackson and you get him ready now because this is the guy who you're going to anticipate, if not next year being in your two deep, then definitely, the year after that being kind of the guy to lead this team, I think.
Do you put any stock into the fact that Sam Williams Dixon went to the portal and
I
then
do.
then came back for a reason though?
Um, my thought is he probably did, but at the same time, I also feel like there may be something to the fact that him going in the portal could hurt him because I feel like, and I maybe it's just me, but maybe you question his loyalty to the program a little bit. Yeah, he came back, but why did he come back? Did he come back because they went out and made him an offer to bring him back, or did he come back because there was nothing better out there for him?
Don't have the answer for that right now. What do you think, Corey?
Did you see what Amari Abor said today?
Yes,
Where he said it was the worst decision he ever made. Listen to the wrong people. He thought he'd get more money. And Chris
he's back
obviously
in
knows what.
he's back in the portal.
Yeah, and I just wonder if I don't know any. I don't know any. I'm just speculating. What if somebody like him talked to Sam William Dixon and said, "Listen, just because you're getting promises elsewhere doesn't mean it's a better jump." I think that's possible because even Sam William Dixon said I was listening to the wrong people when he jumped back out of the portal to come back. In my opinion, I agree with the logic. It should be Bo Jackson because I think somebody in the group chat said something along the lines, CJ's here 1 year, you want to get somebody prepared to be that 1-2 punch with James Peoples then 26. That makes sense to me because I don't think Sam William Dixon is ever going to be a guy you just lean on. But I actually wonder if Samuel and Dixon offers that change of pace from Peoples and CJ. Guy out of the backfield and catch the ball, stuff like that. A little bit more of a scat back that you can use with different personnel and things like that. And maybe that's all they do with him. And Bo's the number 3 guy, and Sam is more of just a package guy. It's possible. I don't know right now. I think Bo makes the most sense, but for some reason, you know constantly heartbroken in me, coaches doing things that don't make any sense to me, it'll end up being Sam. That's how I feel about it.
Will Buck, speaking of portal, who is going, who should be going, and who might be coming? And then right along with that, since we're talking about Amari Abor, Tyler says, would he come back, add more depth to the defensive line? Ryan Day talked about getting another defensive lineman. Would you bring him back, Corey?
I would. Why not? I mean, Ryan Day knows that this is the landscape of college football. Look what happened with the Tennessee quarterback, which I think is hilarious. His name is I'm a Leva or whatever. And he ended up leaving.
I'm leaving.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's just a landscape. I don't think Ryan Day would hold a grudge against him or anything like that. I think he'd welcome him back with open arms. Say, hey, you got bad advice. Now, welcome back to the program. Now you're gonna have to earn your spot, of course, but you can provide some depth, especially at edge where we don't have a ton of depth. Or actually, I think it's more interior. We don't have the depth. But that being said, it's just like, yeah, I think he'd welcome him back. But I wonder if he's going to be searching for a D tackle more than anything.
I think so. Real quick, would you bring him back, Chris? Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A guy who already knows the program. Yeah, he's got to earn his way back, but I mean, he's a need guy. So yeah.
As long as he didn't cause any problems when he left. I mean, as long as he wasn't a cancer in the locker room. I mean, we really need D line depth. I think that's the one area we need more than anything. So I would, as long as he wasn't going to hurt your culture.
Agreed. All right, guys. Any worry at all on who? Are you afraid we might be losing somebody? And I know we don't want to talk about specifics unless you want to bring up a name, or it's really hard for me to think we're going to keep every single person in that defensive backfield. It's so loaded.
Do we want to even speculate on who or no?
If you want to, you can bring up a name, but I don't even. I have not heard any name even brought up in the rumor mill. Not one single name yet. So maybe one of our 300 kickers that never get to play. Maybe I don't know.
Fielding looked good yesterday.
He looked. Hey, listen, he got a new nickname yesterday. The announcer accidentally called him Field Goal.
Field goal, yeah.
He called him
as long as he can
fielding.
make them.
Yeah,
he's like exactly. Field goal by field goal. Fielding. I was like, there's a new nickname. Yeah. Mika says Jason Moore.
Yeah. That's a thing, which is
Why?
Scary because
they keep saying he looks good and then he never plays.
That's a position we actually need depth in. He's gonna play.
Seems like he'd be in the 2 deep, doesn't it?
You would think.
He should be probably right behind Edric, I'd think.
I think we're definitely losing a tight end. We got like 8 of them now. So I don't see them all staying.
But they all look good.
I don't want them to leave. I'm just saying. I just can't.
So Corey, who do you think it is? Do you think it's going to be Max Blunt?
Merrick?
Do you think it's going to be Case Merrick? Do you think it's going to be Johnny Thurman?
I think Thurman will be the guy if anybody's going to go.
Think he goes down to South Carolina with Air?
LeBlanc.
I'm not sure. Maybe that would make the most sense. I would think they would take him in a heartbeat. I don't want him to leave. No. Nate Robertson even looks good.
Yeah. He had 4 catches yesterday?
Exactly.
They all look good. Even LeBlanc. Shaun mentioned possibly LeBlanc. He had a catch too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like in the spring game, we always throw the ball to the tight ends for some reason. I remember when was it Marcus Ball? Remember him? He had like 100 and some yards in the spring game. And then I think that year he got to a total of maybe 200 and some yards total the whole season. So
this is a national. This is a traditional yearly conversation. Oh, the tight ends this year will blow up, and I'm like, yeah, well, Cade Stover is the only one who's blown up in the last 10 years.
Well, I think that's going to change this year for sure.
I hope so. Because Claire, you cannot waste Claire. If you waste
No.
Claire, I will be disappointed in this coaching staff.
If you waste Claire, you'll never
and Dylan
get
Kuhn
a top
both.
tier. You'll never get a top tier tight end again if you
Yeah.
waste Claire.
I mean, he's
No one will come here as a top
NFL written all over that guy. Come on.
Andre Green, after yesterday's game, who's the next Buckeye to lose their black stripe? Fahim Deline.
Yep.
That's my guess.
That's
What
a
do you
good
guys
guess.
think?
Or Anky Jones.
I think
maybe
it's
Pettijohn. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What up, Brian? Good to see you, man. Any other questions about the spring game I could throw in here real fast before I ask the big one and make you all incredibly angry at me?
Sweet.
Nice.
I haven't been angry in like 20 minutes. Let's go.
The show's only been going on for 45 minutes, Corey. So what were we talking about 20 minutes ago? All right. I threw a poll out there this morning on our social media. Who's going to start game 1 against Texas? Overwhelmingly, it was Tavian Sackler. No, just kidding. It was Julian Sane. Overwhelmingly, it was by over 80%.
Hey, Tavian's never going to see the field, so
the way I worded it was who starts against Texas, and your options were Julian Sane, Lincoln Keenholz, someone else. Is how I worded it. And yes, there were 2 people who voted for
Nico?
someone. We'll get there for someone else. However, overwhelmingly Julian Sane. So I'm going to pose the question to you guys. I'll start with you first, Shaun. We'll go around, then Chris and Corey to wrap up here. Who starts game 1 against Texas?
Julian Sane, hands down. I think he looked the best. I think he has the highest ceiling too right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shaun here. I'm going to go with Julian as well. Although I don't think it's an overwhelming thing. I think this competition goes through the summer because I think Lincoln has improved a lot. But I'm also with Shaun on the idea that I think Sane's ceiling is just a lot higher.
I think it's definitely Julian Sane, and I think the biggest reason is he was making routine throws that Lincoln was missing yesterday. And I don't know if that's going on all spring or not, but stuff like little out patterns that are 7 yards, Julian Sane can make them. Lincoln was overthrowing a couple of them. That's a difference between 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 10. I think stuff like that is why Ryan Day will take what he feels will be the safe bet in Julian Sane. That being said, if Lincoln stays, we got a pretty good backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be Julian Sane. I'm still holding to that, but like I stated, I think coming in this year, the idea that everybody had was Julian Sane was here, Lincoln Keenholz was down here, and it's a little bit closer than what everybody thought, I think. However, at the end of the day, they're not going to tell you who's the starter for a while because of this right here, Bobby Mack. Or not that, but where was it? Does Will Buck's question, does Keenholz stay? The answer is yes. They cannot afford to lose Lincoln Keenholz. They can't afford that right now. So they're going to let this thing go out for the foreseeable future. And the reason being is twofold. He doesn't want either one of them to go to the portal. Our depth in that room can't get there. And I'll say this too. If Julian Sane ends up being the starting quarterback and Lincoln Keenholz stays to be the backup in 2025, I believe Ohio State might have one of the best backups in all of college football in 2025.
And Eric, I think they'll have packages developed, kind of like we saw with Devin a few years ago. I think they'll have packages developed maybe on the goal line, things like that, where they can exploit his athleticism. So I think Lincoln, even if he stays in his backup, he's gonna get reps. He's gonna get game time.
And Troy hits the nail on the head. Lincoln would be a fool to leave. Sane is kind of on the smaller side. God forbid something happen, we will need the depth. Lincoln Keenholz can still lead this team to the college football playoff. If he's the starting quarterback, after what I saw yesterday, I still believe this offense and this team under Lincoln's as quarterback can still make a college football playoff. I don't doubt that. So it is important to leave him here because God forbid, what if there is an injury? Great point, Troy. Corey, were you
You
going
can
to say
pull a
something?
Cardale.
I'll be honest with you. I think Lincoln reminds me a little bit of Will Howard
Yeah.
skill set. He's a good, really good athlete. Solid arm, not phenomenal arm, but solid. He's got leadership potential and things like that. I actually do think Lincoln could lead us to the playoff if, God forbid, Julian go down. Not to mention, for Lincoln's sake, if he should stay, because he's going to get to play a little bit here and there at Ohio State, whether it's mop-up duty or whether, God forbid, it's an injury or something like that. And next year, I know if he wants to go on and be the starter, because Julian, if he starts this year, you figure he'll be the starter next year, obviously. Lincoln will have plenty of film to show how much he's improved, and he can go on and be a starter at a solid program the next year. I could see like an Oklahoma wanting him or something like that for sure. I think Julian's bet. I mean, I'm sorry, Lincoln's best bet is to stay and be the backup and get playing time, keep developing with Ryan Day and company and Bill Fessler, and then go be. And if that's where the wins take it, go be a solid quarterback for a big program. He's not an Akron guy. He's a guy who can play at a solid program.
Now, guys, I got a question for you. Quick, do you think they put in a package since he can use his legs like they did with Devin Brown 2 years ago, and have him go into the goal line, maybe some wildcat packages? Because Sane really doesn't show that part. He has that part to his game.
Yeah, I personally think they do, Sean. I think that they do those goal line packages, even though Sane is mobile. And actually, that's one of the things I really liked about him yesterday was the way he commanded the pocket and was able to move around. But he's a little small for me to enjoy him out there running. So yeah, I think especially in the goal line situations, or if you need first and 1 or 2, or I mean that's third and 1 or 2, that might be a position where you bring him in.
Well, let's remember, guys, Ryan Day is huge on his starting quarterback running the football. So
Just ask CJ.
exactly.
So what I'm hearing you say is we keep Lincoln around for the tush pushy. Yeah?
Trying to.
Why not?
I mean, he can throw the
Corey's
ball.
that was really an uncomfortable comment, Eric.
I think we got a little too liberal with that one.